When I came in Canada in 2022, what happened with me? I was thinking I was one of those people who just wanted to live in apartment with with my friends, with my housemates, and you know what I just wanted to do? Just have fun. And white girls, have fun. That's all what I wanted to do. Nowadays, and I didn't even think about that I was, maybe I'll one day want to buy a house. One day I want to have my own apartment. No. If you're also feeling the same, listen to me this story. The story of mine, how my mindset has shifted, is really interesting. What's interesting now is, now that I think about it, I live with my housemates. I don't live with, I don't live in my own apartment because rent in Canada is so expensive. If you're not making, decent amount of money, you won't be able to get a apartment of your own home, of your own. And nowadays, when I live with my housemate, it's not like my housemates are not nice because we are all adults and we all clean the house, we all have good habits. But I badly want to live in an apartment of my own. I badly want to buy a house or a home of my own, not to showcase to anybody, because if you have been listening to me for like lots of videos, and if you have been watching my videos, you know that I'm not a very materialistic person. I don't like to spend money on technology. I mean, God fucking damn it. I don't like spending money on technology. I only like spending on myself. I only like spending on, increasing my knowledge, getting more experiences, traveling, eating good food, and, spending on my friends and family. I'm not a very materialistic person. I don't like to spend money on watches. Sometimes once in a while I like to spend money on, like Apple, some, products that would, improve my life or improve my video quality or something. But most of the time, I don't like to spend money to show off to somebody else because I know human behavior and I know, like, if you try to impress somebody, they won't be impressed. They will just find a solution and they will find a conclusion that, oh, maybe he got this thing from this way, this way. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. If you know human behavior, you will notice that people are not very, they are not impressed by anything that you own. Let's suppose you have a Rolls Royce. And if someone watches you driving a Rolls Royce, you know what they would say? They would think to themselves, how would they look if they had Rolls Royce? You get my point, right? So nobody is impressed if you have a Rolls Royce. It's just like you have this, when you don't know human behavior, when you don't, talk to a lot of people, when you don't get stabbed by a lot of people, and when you don't get betrayed by a lot of people, you won't know human behavior. And so I don't show off to anybody. I don't dress to impress. I don't buy to impress. I don't do any of that crap. But I really want to live in my own apartment. I'm one of those males. I'm not a very one of those. I'm not one of those men who want to have lots of people in their house. But I just want to have a home gym. I want to have my own house in which I just record videos. I have a good library in one section. I have good camera so that I can record and talk to YouTube. I can express my ideas. I have a good library. I'm still thinking about, should I get a library? I mean, do you really want a library? Or maybe I'll just, get a fucking iPad and I'll download ebooks. I'm still thinking about that. But once you have a place of your own, and if you don't have any idea that, do you want to own a house or do you want to own an apartment or do you want to own a condominium? Really think to yourself, how would your parents react if you had a house of your own? And it's so much peace as well when you have a house of your own. It's so much peace. That's why most of the people are running in today's world. They want to spend money on their survival so that they can survive. And most of the men are running and working so hard, 16-hour, 18-hour shifts, 10-hour, 12-hour shifts, 14-hour shifts, to protect and provide for their family. And this goes back to evolution as well. If you're a healthy male, if you have highly, not, I won't say highly, but if you have a healthy amount of testosterone, you really have something in your heart that I want to provide for my family, that I really want to provide for my woman, I really want to provide for my children. And how do you provide for your children? Firstly, you give them food. You get money, and money can be exchanged for food. Then you protect your family. How are you gonna protect your family if you don't even have a space to live? That's the really root. What's the exact word I'm looking for? There's something in your heart. It goes back to evolution. Most men want to provide and protect their family, and that's why we have something in our house. We have something in our heart that we want to buy a house. House, it's literally something that you can protect your family. You can protect that family from outer world. You can create a shield from outer world and your inner world, your family, and that shield is your house. I really want to badly live in an apartment of my own, do all of the things that I want to be doing, have a reading space, have a content space on one side, have good kitchen in which I can make meat, chicken, steak, I can cook all these things. What else do I want to do? I'll park a car inside. I mean, I don't want to show my car to anybody, but of course, I didn't have money when I was growing up, so of course I want to when I get the money. When I get a fuck ton of money, of course I'll get that money and spend something. Want to see that how does it look like? Because I will be a poor man with lots of money. I won't be a rich man. You can only be a rich man when you. That's what I think. You can only be a rich man if you're born rich. But if you're a self-developed man, and if you're self-made millionaire or self-made multi-millionaire or self-made billionaire, you would always be a poor man with lots of money. You would always remember those days when you didn't used to have money and when nobody cared for you, when the world didn't even come to you for and didn't even offer you a chance. You would always remember that. And that's why most of the men they want to have bigger and bigger houses. Not because they want to showcase it to somebody, not because they would live in each and every room, even if they have like 10 or 20 rooms, but because they have something that they want to prove it to themselves. That's why most of the financially successful men, they buy bigger and most expensive cars. One of the factors could be if they don't know human behavior, that they want to impress somebody and they want to get the hottest girl. But I mean, girls also don't, whatever. The girls also don't get impressed by cars. I mean, a car or a Lamborghini can give you 10 or 15 seconds of attention, but after that you have to show her what kind of man you are to get the girl. So I mean, what's the purpose of showcasing, right? That's what I'm saying. If you know human behavior, you won't be able to spend all this money because you don't want to impress anybody. Because like these things don't impress anybody. But the reason why most of the financial successful people, they get 5,000 acres or 10,000 acres of houses because they have something that the world was not able to give when they were poor, and they want to prove it to that inner child that yes, the world didn't give you when you had nothing, and now I will buy everything. I will buy the whole world just for you, my inner child. See you in the next one.